For the past 20 years, I have tried to live without any regrets. I started a business, I got married, I have kids, and I've made some really good friends along the way. And I've felt like I have done a decent job of prioritizing, well, my priorities. Or so I thought. You see, when I started my business, I learned very quickly who my real friends were and who were just there because they were acquaintances. One of my friends who taught me the importance of finishing out a project and really seeking out what you really want out of life. So we built this car over the past 5 years. And as my business grew, my ability to help him became less and less. Eventually, he had other people do some work to it, and it got to the point where it was almost unusable. So I told him I would take on the project. I worked on it when I could, and I knew he was sick, but I didn't know how sick he was. I really thought I just had more time. But I lost my friend in August of last year. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, let me merge in, Justin.
He was an early adopter, and he believed in me in the very beginning. He would buy equipment for my shop when I had no money, or bring me work when I didn't have enough. And I was really thankful for that. And when he needed cars worked on, I took care of him, and I told him not to worry about the bill until he was in a better spot. And even when my business model went from sport cars to Toyota 4x4s, he kept that enthusiasm alive. Always had me wishing for another sports car. So the only thing that made sense for me was to get his going. And after talking to his family, they all agreed that I should be the one that ends up with a car, which is an honor I don't take lightly. And most mechanics will have a project car that sits in the garage, in the back, hidden, neglected for many years without even being touched. I didn't want this to end up with the same fate, so I acted quickly, started cleaning my garage, towed it out of my shop and brought it home, and even brought my toolbox home, because I really don't wrench professionally anymore. And even though my friend is gone, he still manages to continue to teach me of what I really want out of life. And that is to better myself, to be a better business owner, to be a better husband, father, and to finally see a project through completion. The way that I feel like not only I would want it, but he would want it. So this is Steve's 1978 280Z with a 383 stroker engine inside of it. And my goal is to get her going on the street again, to enjoy it, just like I know he would. The first thing I need to do is pretty much clear out some of this wiring, because a lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of stuff is spliced together, tied together, and not even soldered together. So what I want to do to start this project off is isolate all the questionable wiring, separate it, relume it, resolder it, and then wire it back into the car in a proper fashion to where it's not going to catch on fire again. Yeah, let's do that. Is clear out some of this wiring. So the Datsun has a Blueprint 383 stroker engine, making up roughly about 500 horsepower. Now, this is also ran by a Holley Sniper EFI system, which are convenient, but not really convenient. So now I need to kind of backtrace and start kind of rewiring it from scratch. The way that it was wired before was all conveniently just shoved in a little corner underneath the dash and made for a very poor installation. Sure it's not in gear. Starter works still? Yep, that still works. Huh. Okay. So this is the back of my connector right now to my ignition switch on the Datsun. There's 3 wires. There's a black and white wire, which is our starter wire. So whenever I hit the start button, this sees 12 volts and then the starter is engaged. This is our 12 volts in, which means that this is direct battery power going directly into the ignition switch. And then this is our key on engine off or key on engine on, that whenever the engine is started or I'm in the on position, everything else gets power. The only problem with hooking up the sniper to this one is that when I go to crank the vehicle, this one gets no power for that moment in time when the starter's engaged. There is another pin here and another pin here. So I'm hoping that I get 12 volts on either this one or this one when the starter's engaged. And if that's true, then I can go ahead and add a wire to either one of these and then hook up our sniper here, and we will have success. That crank. I think that's our key right there. Okay, I was lucky enough. As a mechanic that's been wrenching in the profession for 20 years, this is my favorite part, where I finally figure out which direction I need to go and I can just move. Power or ground. And we got voltage. Cool.
Daddy, look, I found keys.
And in my head, the plan just comes together. I don't even say anything else. I just get to what I need to do. Haven't really wrenched for myself in a garage in probably 15 years. And I can't believe how much I actually miss it. And I can't help to think back how it was 15, maybe 20 years ago, where it was a garage full of friends talking crap to each other. And now it's just filled with silence. The occasional walking in by my daughter and me listening to music. And I find this extremely therapeutic. Please don't catch on fire. Got fuel pump. I might have forgotten to move some of these cables. Oh, you know what helps? If you hook up the alternator. I need to zip tie this out of the way. It was nice to hear the Datsun running again, but at the same time, it was bittersweet because typically this is about the time I would call him and let him know that I've made good progress. And I just don't have that ability anymore. But I am very thankful that I have the ability to share the journey and to share his story as well. So if you guys want to continue seeing more videos on the Datsun and me getting it back on the road, hit that follow button or the subscribe button. Leave a comment, all that stuff. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.